entire face, I'm going to put the Farsali Volcanic Elixir drops. This is such a hydrating step before foundation. I love using this even over primer. I feel like this works better than primer sometimes. For the brows, I feel like both sides are pretty much the same. They're both just following the natural shape of the brow and then filling in the sparser areas. I'm just gonna basically do the same thing. Maybe just try to make my brows a little bit more feathered on the American side. So I'm gonna take my LC B12 brush and my Benefit Foolproof powder in number 5, and I'm just gonna start to fill in my brow hairs just the way I would naturally, just filling in all the bald spots. So that is the American, and I'm just going to comb the hairs up so that they look more feathered. To give that just brushed, wispy kind of brow hair look, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Benefit Brow Conditioning Primer. And I actually really like this for setting the brows. It has tiny little grooves, so it grabs every single bit of hair that you have and it pulls it straight. So for that feathered look, I really like using this. And the brow gel is strong enough to where it'll stay where you put it. So I'm just gonna brush all of the little hairs upwards. And on the other eye, I'm just gonna take the same powder and then I'm gonna fill in the brow hairs to where it's more of a classic brow look. I'm just gonna follow the natural shape of my brow. So on this brow, I'm gonna fill in more of the spaces than what I did with this one, because this one I wanted it to be kind of wispy. Indian makeup is super fierce, very glam, smoked out. I'm gonna start with the eyes first. So I'm gonna start with this eye right here, which is the Indian eye. So I'm gonna focus more of the glam here, and so that there's a difference, I'm gonna do a soft glam on this side. Now, the first thing I want to do is put on concealer to the lid because I really want those shadows to stick. I don't want them to budge, so I'm going to take, because I want my eyeshadow to really stand out and I want it to last, I'm going to go ahead and take the Revolution Conceal and Define. This is the shade C7, and by the way, you guys, this is only $7, and this concealer is so bomb. If you're looking for a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape, this is it, and it's only $7, so just giving you guys a little tip there. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that on my eyelid just a little bit, and then I'm gonna take a flat brush and start to work that into the rest of my lid. And we're gonna cover the entire lid space with this. This is gonna act like our primer. Since we're here, we have all this concealer on our lid, so we're gonna go ahead and sharpen up and really define and carve out that brow shape. For this eye, I'm just gonna use foundation. It's just a little bit of a lighter feel on the lid, and I'm not trying to do like full crazy glam. So both the eyes are primed and ready to go. So I'm gonna start with the Indian side, and I'm gonna take the Dose of Colors Cream Matte Eye Color, and I'm gonna use that to kind of map out my wing and kind of actually set it as a base. Ooh, hello, I almost forgot this part. I'm gonna take a piece of tape and pop it right where I want that wing. So I'm gonna take my wing liner brush. This is from Zoeva. It's the 317 wing liner. And this cream, and I'm going to just do my base wing, so. Okay, my camera cut off, so you can see I put a little bit of eyeshadow right here. What I did is I took the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette, and I picked up this shade right here. It's called So Bougie, and I'm just picking it up with this Sigma E70 brush, and I'm working it just above, like right above the crease, actually, just a little bit further up. This is gonna help your gradient look really smooth, so try to keep this away from all the other shades. Brush is usually something I contour my nose with, but it works perfectly for the crease too. With another like fuller, fluffier brush, I'm gonna take the same shade and just bring it down a little bit further. Now I'm gonna take Cocoa Truffle, which is this guy right here. Use these circular motions to work it in. And make sure we don't touch So Bougie, that first shade we used. Now I'm gonna add the black with the same brush. And the black that I'm using is right here in this palette. It's called Decadent. So this guy right there. And same thing with the brown, we're just gonna inch our way in. So just use these little circular motions. The best way to blend out black when you're mixing black and brown is just using a feathery light touch, just like this in circular motions. Super soft. It's gonna be really hard to get yourself out of the black mess, so it's just have patience and use a soft hand and you'll be good. You'll get through this and you'll have a beautiful gradient eye. You're gonna have like the best, most beautiful smoky eye anybody's ever seen. So have patience, it helps a lot. And if you feel like your brushes have way too much product, just take a clean brush and go over the edges like that so that you don't have any extra color getting in there, moving it around. So I'm gonna take this gold right here, chocolate gold, use that, my inner lid. Actually, since I have it on my finger, I'll just kind of work it on like that. I'm actually gonna mix in gold dipped, which is this one at the bottom. And we're going to make a wing. So I'm gonna start from the inner corner. Because Indian eyes are naturally kind of more elongated and just sultry, just naturally they have that beautiful almond shape. But I also see a lot of the eyeliner being pulled out right into this inner corner. So how beautiful is this, first of all? I'm gonna take some of that gold and pop it on right on top. I did not realize how intense this tape was. See, when I take the tape off, how sharp it is. That wing is very dangerous. So I'm gonna take the thicker wing liner brush and just start to inch that in. So with the black liner, I'm gonna take that on the inner waterline. That is it for the eyeshadow on the eye. So I'm gonna start on the American eyeshadow, and that is gonna be so much quicker and softer than this eye. So for this eye, I'm gonna use the Anastasia Soft Glam. I'm gonna take Burnt Orange, which is right down here, and Dusty Rose. Just gonna mix those two together. Like, you can work it on the bottom of the lash line, up into the crease, and then blend out the edges with a bigger brush. And then for the inner corner here, I'm just gonna use a Glistening, which is this color right here. I'm gonna take Tempera, which is this matte bone color, and I'm gonna work that on the brow bone. I'm gonna take those two shades, Dusty Rose and Burnt Orange, and I'm gonna work them on the lower lash line too. Just not going in all the way, but just right about halfway. You know what, I'm actually gonna add one more color to this look. Rustic right here was just calling my name for this look, so we're gonna use him. And I'll focus this shade on the outer crease. Just adds a little bit more depth right there. I'm just gonna take the darkest brown in this palette, which is Cypress Umber. This right here. Just work it on the upper lash line, like on the outer part of the upper lash line. And I don't wanna take it all the way in, I'm just gonna bring it right about there. And voila. Now I'm gonna add some mascara. For the Indian side, I'm gonna use the Lily Lashes in the style Miami. While that lash dries down, I'm gonna pick up these other Lily Lashes in the style Diamonds for the American side. For the Indian side, they look very high coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. This is one of my favorite foundations because it's full coverage, and I love full coverage too. For the lighter side, I'm gonna go with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. So for concealer on the Indian side, I'm gonna take the the Revolution concealer and really go in. So basically what I do on a normal basis. And then for the American side, since we're doing something a little bit lighter, I'm gonna take the KKW concealer in the shade 5, and I'm just gonna work that on my darkest area, which is right here. I'm gonna take it too far out, but I'm also gonna take it up. Now I'm just gonna bake underneath my eyes since I'm gonna use the same powder for both. This is the shade 2 from KKW. I have been using it all the time. I really, really like it. I'm gonna put it on right underneath the eyes so that my concealer doesn't crease. I feel like contouring is pretty much the same for both sides. The only difference is because I'm doing a softer American look, I'm just gonna bring it, like I'm gonna cup the cheek right here just to make it a little bit more. So I'm taking a lighter contour color and just bringing it around right there. And then on the other side, by the way, I'm using the Kat Von D shade in Light palette. I'm gonna use the darker shades, which are towards the end. So I'm using this medium one and a little bit of the deeper shade to really give me that sculpted look. But with this one, because I want it to be more structured, I want it to go further out, like straight out, like this, instead of a cup. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe away the extra powder now. Something a little bit extra that I've been doing is using the KKW, which I really like. Her concealers, her powders, everything from there is so amazing. And it actually does not look cakey when you do this. I was a little scared that it would, but it really doesn't. So I'm gonna take that and to add even more brightness to the under eyes and like right along the nose. After you contour, it just kind of helps everything flow together. So on the American side, I'm going to take this Thrive Cosmetics bronzer right here in Sun Chaser. I'm going to put a little bit on this side too, just to blend that bronzer out. I mean, to blend the contour a little bit. For blush on the Indian side, I'm going to take this one right in the middle. Okay, there's a lot of blush on there. And then for the highlight on the American side, I'm gonna take this MAC Oh Darling Extra Dimension Skin Finish. And for the Indian side, I'm gonna take this Huda Beauty 3D Highlighter Palette. And I'm gonna take some of Barbados, which is more of a cream. Just tap that on the cheekbone like that, and a little on the nose. And then I'm gonna take Maldives. Okay, so the last thing we have left is the lip, and I feel like red is so classic and beautiful for Indian weddings and just Indian makeup in general. Red stands out to me for Indian makeup, so I'm gonna take this MAC Retro Matte Liquid Lip Color. For the American side, I'm gonna take the KKW Yellow Gold Lip Gloss.